For more information or to speak with us directly on Facebook, continued to struggle with the true nature of our mission and purpose. Most of us have been living witnesses to the great predicament that has befallen our people and our nation. And despite this hardship, few among us have been guided by an unwavering commitment to the pursuit of justice. Our collective purpose in this life is to determine whether we as a people and a generation will fulfill or betray our common destiny. Thus, the need for a movement rooted in truth, justice, and love. As we transition to the next phase in our collective history, some of us believe that we have to work diligently to chart a clear path forward for the country, heading in the wrong direction, for justice, for equity, for enlightenment, and to reject ignorance, and for a chance to have full citizenship rights in our motherland. The Nigerian problem, as hydra-headed as it may be, can be summarized as these three key facts. I mean, it is best summed up as 1. Our collective silence. 2. The enemies within. 3. The elites, or the big man. Comparing big manism to apartheid, big manism is worse than apartheid. The other parts or issues we have are mere symptoms. These three facts is what the movement radio intends to tackle, address, and deal with. This is why we are launching the movement radio. We want to champion the voice of the people, to use the platform and our resources against the system that enslave us and make criminals of our people. Unlike the others that just regurgitate the oppressor's voices and opinions, we want to be focused on the real people voice. We want to be an alternative message to viewers, to reorientate them, revolutionize the minds of the people, and empower them, while we aggressively tear down the elite's hegemony to information and their compromised nature in our plight. Our programming and format. 1. General lists, top hit of the week, literatures. 2. No news but headlines and bottom lines. 3. Music taste. 4. Thematic, particular subject, politics, literature, Niger-specific. 5. Local format, current event, historical events, law review, village, city, region. 6. Community format, religion, sexuality, ethnicity, jobs, and professions. It won't be that easy, but your part or your role, it will be easy. Just click, just download, just call in, just register your views, just send us info, just participate. In fact, just do it. As a progressive platform for Africans globally, the Movement Radio is proud to provide a space for individuals seeking to connect with like-minded people who are passionate about justice, freedom, and full citizenship. Our programming is designed to not only entertain, but to elevate minds, spark critical conversations, and empower our community. Join us on this journey of education, empowerment, and liberation. For more information or to speak with us directly on Facebook,
Good morning, good evening, wherever your geographical location is, and welcome to the Movement Radio. We have a loaded program for you today, and we will start first of all by sharing with you some of our primary objective and purpose for wanting to do this Movement Radio. So we will start first today by introducing ourselves. My name is Manuel Ferreira, and assisting me out there is Ibekunola. And Ibekun, introduce yourself.
Yeah, my name is Ibukolua Amuson, and I'm very glad to be here today and to indeed talk about the issues bordering around our collective interest. Thank you so very much.
So we have a a lot of things line up for today's activities. We have it in about 7 parts. From firstly talking about the primary purpose for which there's a need for consciousness and enlightenment within the Nigerian commute, and to be able to share informative information for our people, so in order that they can make reasonable decisions in improving the quality of their lives. So before we go into our program informant, we are going to have a 7 parts show for you today. And the first part, we will be doing our greetings and introduction basically. So we would go through a list of some basic items, and we would hope you be able to share this with us as we proceed forward. So the first thing we have lined up for today is the reason why we all must be involved. The movement radio, why we must. The Nigerian problem, a lot of people would have told you, well, it's not even just that. As we transition to the next phase of our collective history, we believe that we have to work diligently to chart a clear path forward for the country. Therefore, because the country is heading in the wrong direction, we have to keep pushing for justice, for equity, and for enlightenment. And as a collective purpose, we have to reject ignorance, and we have to fight for our full citizenship and rights within our motherland. And to do this, we have to be more informative about what our purpose, goals, and mission is in this life. I am honored to invite you all to this important gathering, and we should share our vision. Our next steps is to liberate our people from the bondage of this oppressive and irresponsible leadership that has been bestowed upon us and our society. And we have to push for equity, justice, and basically the rule of law. The movement radio has a specific outline and solutions to the problem. But first, I'm going to share this page with you as Ibukun continues the reading about the objective, the Nigerian problem. You go on while I share with our audience this PowerPoint presentation that I have prepared. So just continue reading, and we'll take it from there, so they can see what we are reading, what you're saying in pictorial and visual formats. You're muted.
Yeah. Thank you so very much. We want to indeed share our objective with the members of the public, and our public is very clear cut towards changing the narrative and indeed bringing about the people's liberation. Um, and I'll be indeed focused on the materials at my front here, and we would go through it alongside the slides that is being shown. Um, very sorry. 1 minute. I will be there. My system is acting up.
Yeah,
Okay.
while he's bringing that up, I'll just basically continue on his behalf until he gets it together. So the Nigerian problem might look varied and hydra-headed to many people, but it's best to summarize it in very simple terms, 3 terms. 1, collectively, we are all responsible for the problem we're in, either through our silence or our inaction. Secondly, there's a lot of us who are enemies within, and most of us don't even know that we are contributing to the detriment of our fatherland and to the destruction of our children's future. Though we have those second category, which is the enemies within. And then the last category, that's the one that everybody points finger at. These are the political elites, which in Nigerian terminology or pidgin English, we call the big man. So comparing big manism humanism could best be compared to apartheid, but this case it has no color boundary. This is feudalism at its best, and the other parts that emanate from all the problems we have in Nigeria is as a result of these three key facts, and if not, we won't be in the problem we're in. As a mission, the Movement Radio intends to tackle and address and deal with all of these issues, and by doing that, we intend to focus our people's attention on what their role is in their destruction of the country and what they can do to alleviate the situation. I'm going to start first by stating a very, very valid quote. This is one of the quotes whereby you can take these quotes to the bank and it will be as valid as 100 years of amalgamation that they had Nigeria. Um, from 1960 up to the present day, the Nigerian struggle has been totally mischaracterized from the beginning as a pro-democracy issue. A lot of people think, oh, we're just fighting for democracy. You can start all the way far back to when we won independence, to the period where the first coup occurred, the counter coup, uh, the Muritala coup, and then to the days of Obasanjo's first civilian rule, and then back to the Babangida era and Bacha, and then back again to civilians. We've now had 26 years of civilian rule, but the pre-problem we have in Nigeria is that the Nigerian struggle, we are still in this struggle because the struggle has just been there. It just didn't start as a result of this administration. It's been there from day one, from independence, but the struggle has been mischaracterized as a pro-democracy one. It is not, our struggle is not about democracy or whether we are for or against democracy. Our struggle actually is about our liberation, how we can be free and how we can conscientize our people to understand the fact that we are not free, we are in bondage. A lot of people have fought and died in the struggle, but they've been fighting and embracing a lie. They've died for the wrong reason. They've died for a pro-democracy reason. But the real struggle that we have left behind from day one, from the days the white man came onto our shores, is the struggle for freedom. And that struggle has metamorphosized into various forms and shape. Now, the Nigerian state has been captured, and this is where it becomes a little bit dangerous. The Nigerian state has been captured by a most rapacious class of evil men. They are among us. They are people. They belong to us. They are part of us. And that's a very key fact. This is one of those quotes I would like to put in a bank. I don't know exactly who came up with it, but the Nigerian struggle has been mischaracterized from the beginning as a pro-democracy one. It is not. And those who have fought and died in that struggle have embraced and died for a lie. The liberation struggle is what is awaiting each of our conscience now. A lot of people will say, but we have democracy, but we have had independence, we are free, but we are not. We are not. So that's a quote I want to take to the bank with me, and I'll put it down on record as a statement of fact. Now, our listeners might agree or disagree to a certain degree about what this actually, whether this is correct or not, but that's a fact. And as part of our discussional points, we would bring this back down the line and say, do you agree that our problem is a pro-democracy problem, or is it a liberation struggle? So there's Ibukun, you can note that down in case when we start having audience for discussions. That's one of our key issues we want people to make a pointer to. Yeah, we are here to stimulate the minds to very informative discussions. And another quote I want to stay here before I hand over the microphone back to Ibukun is that the Nigerian state has, when we have coined a term, and it's part of our discussion for today, when we say Nigeria had happened to you. For us, the Nigerian state has become a weapon, like rather than a colleague or a brother or a sister or a father or a mother. The Nigerian state, when Nigeria happens to you, Nigeria does something to each individual that goes through that line, that geographical contraption. You see, it transforms you, damages something vital in you. It could destroy your essential being. It transforms something good to bad and literally could kill your conscience. And that is why you see a lot of our fellow countrymen strongly and vocally and loudly defending evil. It is usually not their fault. It is what that geographical contraption has evolved them to become. You know, we talk about evolution. When you stayed in hell for too long, you become a monster. That's the Nigerian state. But I continue with this code. You see, the Nigerian state can eviscerate a good soul, and it conquers the joy of the living, and it literally kills the humanity in any man or woman. And it can turn you or me or anybody that has gone through that geographical contraption into an army of the dead. And when you are an army of the dead, you even fight against your own interest. That means you're living, but you're like the living dead. You're like a zombie, you know. And the Nigerian state kills a man and turns him into a zombie, a night walker. And those who are still living are there now, they look dead, and they look like a risen soldier that now fights for the Night King, if anybody ever watched Game of Thrones. So this is what has happened, or this is what's happening with Nigerian situation. Now, a lot of, I said, it's not a pro-democracy issue. The political dispensation and all these alphabetical political orders, APC, PDP, and all these labels, all of them are, all these parties, they are doing right now for this state is to raise the army of the dead that is constantly attacking the living, and to fight and destroy the living. Before you, if Ibukun continues reading, I want to show you a power slide of what I just read. I hope it's clear. I don't know if Ibukun, you
Yes,
can
yeah.
make that
I have
the
already, I
slide,
have
if you
already,
can make it
I have displayed it
major.
on the screen.
Huh?
The-
Yeah,
the-
I see the reading on the screen. That's good, but I wanted to I want to share with the audience something vital here
All
on
right.
the board. Um, the video that shows me walking to the board. If you can highlight it, that would be real nice. You know. So what we just said just now, if you put it in graphical format, we are saying that the Nigerian problem can be easily defined. A lot of people have made a lot of effort defining it. And let me um let me go over a few terms that you will come across as we are talking about these issues and this event. You see, when we talk about the Nigerian problem, we are talking about our collective silence, our enemies within, and the issue of the big man who wants to be like the white man as hard as possible. So these are the key concepts of what we are talking about, or what we've talked about so far. And when you talk about big manism is a kind of a feudal system whereby one man believes he's better than the other man, and it's a concept that is borrowed from the white in the days of the white supremacy. And that concept has been passed on to our fellow brothers, and in their head they feel they are better than their fellow countrymen or women. Another thing we want to look at is what is real true democracy. You see, we believe that since 1999, what we've had was a permanent coup d'etat against the Nigerian masses by the ruling elite. So we really never really had true democracy. Down the line, when we talk about some of these problems, and bring you more episodes, we will go into details with that with knowledgeable writers like Farida Berembau, and all the others who have actually analyzed the real issue. So this is so far what we have talked about. So I'm going to show you quickly um, a concept map of where we are or where we are going. Okay, now we've highlighted the problem. Now, people just don't talk about problems. You have to talk about the vision and the way to tackle the problem. So the key facts are those three problems that we highlighted, and now we're going to talk about how our vision and justice and love is going to lift us out of this problem we're currently in, because there's a lot of things that needs to change for that society. The solution is how we approach the problem to get a real solution. I'll let Ibuku continue reading, and then I will put up another thing on the screen that you all can see and learn. Please, if you're listening to us and you agree or disagree with whatever comment or points we're making, please note it down. When we have a chance for a discussion, we will bring you in as part of our discussions to see which aspect of our points and issues you agree with or disagree with. Also, it's important to tell you all that we will not be doing the discussion on YouTube live. We will be doing it on X. So under the movement radio thing. So if you don't have X, try and download X and then try to join us if you want to be a part of this discussion. So while Ibukun is reading that, I'm going to show you another slide while he goes on to present that. You ready to continue
Yes,
with the reading
yes,
while I
yes,
show
I'm
them
ready.
more? Yeah, okay, go ahead.
We also have our correspondent, Ifeoluwa Kayode, join us. So,
Oh yeah,
um,
has she joined us?
yes, she has
Is she
joined
in the
us.
studio?
Yes, she's in the studio. Yes.
If Ifeoluwa, can she introduce herself so that the audience can meet her?
Ifeoluwa, over to you.
Um, oh, do I need to add her or you've added her?
No, she's already in the studio. I've already had it down.
Okay, let's
So
add
please,
her.
please unmute your mic,
Okay,
Ifeoluwa.
okay. She doesn't have a camera on,
Yeah, okay. Nigerian factor.
but it's okay. She can still continue to speak. She's already in the studio.
Okay,
That's
sir.
good. Yeah,
Okay.
good afternoon, Ifeoluwa. So
Good evening, sir.
you're going to take over from Ibukun as soon as he finish his own portion, and then I'll take over from you as we talk and make explanation of
All right,
what
sir.
we are presenting. So Ibukun, the ball now in your court. You can continue from where I stopped. I stopped at that second quote, and then you should take. I think there's a third quote to that. If you can move the slide up a little bit. Are you reading from the screen or
Yeah.
you're reading it from?
Can you
Okay.
see the screen, Ifeoluwa?
Yes, it's very clear.
Yes, sir.
All right, please go right ahead and read to us.
Okay. Why we need freedom and break this bondage we call democracy. Demonstration of craze. Being in bondage is not just about the unfairness or the beating of hardship of life. It isn't the violence, it isn't the labor or the hunger or the heat of being alive in hell, called Nigeria, or in the chains of poverty that holds them down. What those Nigerian people in bondage or slavery or lack of citizenship fear the most is on the unknown. The unknown, like a lash that came from nowhere, is that is never explained. A visit from the tax master we call government or rulers in the dead of night, that the fear Nigerians feel and remember daily. This is the pain that return over and over again to them. And that is the fear and pain that needs to go away or disappear. And that is why we have to bring this current governmental abusive system down.
Continue.
Please proceed. Yeah.
Okay.
Continue.
All right, sir. Are these
Dilapidated. Dilapidated.
dilapidated state of our nation? It is correct to say that every onlooker is either a traitor or a coward, or better still, both. Note that at this point, silence itself is a crime against the nation and against the people. The politics and policies of appeasement and pacification of evil has been the
You
language
have to
of discussion.
wait. Hold on there. So
All
sorry.
right,
That
sir.
is history. We are now moving towards a very interesting territory now. Would you like to make any comment?
No, no, no. I will come in when I do a mind map of what she's reading and what she's saying, so that our audience can follow what we're saying, because we don't want to be doing too much Oyibo. In fact, if we can do a pidgin version of this, it will be nice for the breakdown. But I'm gonna do a concept map of what she's reading. But she should continue unless you have additional comments you want to add to what she just
I think I
read.
have
Or
some.
she continue.
I think I have some comments. In the
Okay.
previous quotes. Um, if you are to look at it, Nigeria is a place where the weak and the dead are the same. That is very powerful.
Yes.
That one, they very profound. Many people are walking dead and they are not aware of it. A place that shuns out men who are, thieves and criminals, men who are weak and morally dead. We look at our society today, we see a very morally bankrupt society, really. And it's the assignment of the conscious people to do the needful. Well, we don't want to make any prescriptive statements, but the Nigerian people can see, they can see with their eyes. It's very, very obvious that this is not the kind of society that can lead them to any sort of progress. A religious nation whom righteousness is dead, like Sodom and Gomorrah. But a country that is just religious, just for the sake of it, without any point of action that is going to lift them from this current sad reality to a society that is driven towards peace, progress, and and justice. Because a just society is a society that can ensure the security, both economic security and political security of its people. So we now have to look at our current situation in Nigeria, really, and make some introspection to see indeed whether or not there is any form of hope that is being sold by the current political hegemony. So we are not making any prescriptive, rhetoric here, but the fact is what we are concerned about, and the fact speaks for itself. The state of Nigeria and Africa, the equivalent as a whole. So yeah, if please proceed to our history. Our history, you can see it on the screen, right?
Okay.
Yeah,
Our
proceed.
history, yes, sir. Okay. The policies of appeasement and pacification of evil has been the language of discussion among Nigerian political elites, and the general public complied, silent, and refusal to respond or react to their life. This is the major reasons the country is on its knee right now and the people are suffering. Fela Kuti called it paddy paddy, put am together, government arrangements.
Hmm. Just hold on there. You know,
Yes, sir.
Padi Fela Kuti has said it all really, and it's quite very interesting. Say they reference this thing now in our own era, um, and the fact that this party government they the same, right? We have not really moved past it all these years. Is this the same format way that they use for us? They use for us the Baba Sokwe format, the kind of format that is basically hitting the ring of the boss that is at the top. You have to be in the good book. You have to indeed do every eye service to stay in their good book. history and has constituted our reality ever since. So yeah, that is our history, the history of a country that have politics of appeasement and pacification of evil. It is the language among the Nigerian political elites and the general public, and the complex silence. When you look at the silence is very, very deafening. When things are going on in the society and people are quiet, it means something is wrong somewhere. It means people have been conquered mentally, and many people they call them capitulation. When you have capitulate, you have raised your hands that well, anything we want happen to me, make it happen. So in that kind of society, there's need for her for those kind of people in that society to find a way around it one way or the other. And again, we are not taking any prescriptive rhetoric. We are just showing you the facts and the facts only. Mixed with that information, any way you deem fit. So please proceed to the solution. Can we proceed to the solution?
Okay, sir. The solution is to bring light to the darkness. If hypocrisy is the homage vice pays to virtue, then what is happening in Nigeria as an homage absolute nonsense is paying to sense. The
Hmm.
fact is, since 1999, we Nigerians had never had a true or real democracy. What we have is a permanent coup dictated by the ruling elite against the
Who
masses.
did that?
And
Who did
since
that?
1960, we have not known the truth either.
Can we pause there
Yeah.
and
Yes,
get
sir.
Yes. Yes.
some comments from you?
Yes. Yeah. Basically, she has just we have just covered one the Nigerian problem and the root causes, whereby other issues with the tribalism, religion, and all these are just mere symptoms. But the key fact is the movement radio's mission is to come up with a vision and a purpose whereby we can chart a clear path forward, fight for justice and equity, promote enlightenment, reject ignorance, secure full citizenship right. Those are the vision that we are highlighting. I have a slide here. I don't know if I can share it with the public. I don't know. I don't. So they can see. And then the purpose is to tackle and address the core problems, to liberate the people from oppressive leadership and build a society for equal justice and the rule of law. Now, the core principles here is that truth, justice must be rooted in these values and love. And light must overcome darkness, which is what she just read. And then freedom must be established out of the bondage we are in. So we have talked about the Nigerian experience where it damages vital aspect, destroys essential, transforms good to bad, kills conscience and soul, turns people into haters of each other. And then is Nigeria symbolically now globally is being seen as a nation of vice. Even we say it to ourselves, don't let Nigeria happen to you. It's a nation of vice where the weak and the dead are literally the same. You just said that earlier. And then we shun strong men. We don't embrace people who are good of character. Our political discourse, our public discourse do not embrace men of good character. Criminals are now in charge. That's what the society in itself embrace. That's that is the key factor, the nation of vice, where a fraud, a crime scene, it dishonors us as Africans, it dishonors us as a black man, and we have to say something. Even the headlines for this week alone, from Bajabia Mila to Adeyemi or whatever these guys are. But Nigerians, when they are talking about these things, they talk about these things as if they are new. No, it's been there in the 70s while we were growing up. It's been there in the 80s and 90s. It's just that the current set of criminals, the boldness with which they come to exhibit these vices, it's what is frightening, because we have allowed madness to take a central stage. And that is the key issue. We have become a nation of vice. And that's where we are seeing, as we read further, we now start talking about what is the solution, what is the movement radio bringing to the table in order to tackle these identified problems, because we Nigerians are very, very good at listing problems, it's finding solutions that becomes one of our Achilles heel. And so the as you I don't know who's reading next. Is it you, or is it Ifelua, or is it Ibukun? Whoever's reading next, as you go into the next stage of reading, where we'll be looking at the solutions that we are bringing forward to alleviate this situation. Go ahead.
Okay, let me take a bit of that from what we are seeing on the screen. Let me take one of the quotes there. It says, "As the country is methodically destroyed and its institutions desecrated, they demand respect for decadent institutions and demand myopic men. They demand a compromise of conscience and purpose."
Conscience. I would like to explain this. This is a very, very powerful quote. As the country is methodically being destroyed and institutions are desecrated, the people doing it will now demand from you, who is the victim, they will demand from you respect for the decadent institution and the departed myopic view they bring to the table. They demand from you, who is a victim of what they are doing, they demand a compromise of your own conscience and your own purpose. That's a very powerful code, because that's a very dangerous situation. It can best be put with the Yoruba proverb that says, "I tete mole ole moloko." Nigeria is actually a country of olegbe olegba. The thief grabs it, another thief grab it from that thief, and now, because the people have not caught that thief on time, the thief now catches the house owner or the landowner. So that's the boldness that you see, and you see it when they go on the media, when they go on the media shows. There was one show yesterday on channel with this APC chieftain and Yemi Okibaloye. It was actually disgusting, of journalistic tendency by Yemi Okibaloye, because he really didn't perform well. Those are topics for the future. And they demand, they yell at you, they shout at you, and you see it in all these social media spaces where all the supporters of this insanity, how they yell, all they can do is shouting match. She yelled down at people, demand that you, who is a victim, is the one demarketing the country, not the one stealing the country dry. So it's quite pathetic, and it is sad. It is sad, and that's a very, very wonderful quote, and it should be put in the bank also as one of the key factors that we see. How we are seeing it daily, how these people who are the bad people shout down on the good people. Basically, they bully the rest of us. They bully us, and if we allow us to get bullied, that is also our fault. That's part of our own collective silence. You don't become silent in front of a bully. You confront words with words, and when they move to bullets, you confront bullet with bullet. But the fact is, we let it happen, and so we're still on the problem. Continue. Sorry for that comment. I kind of took a while on that one. Ebukun, can you hear me?
Yes, absolutely. You are very audible. So sorry about that. So yes, let me continue the reading, and now we go into how do we do this? We must ignore their news instead of building boreholes. We must build more media stations that hear the people's voice and people's pain, and if need be, the people's pleasure. And this is quite profound in my own view. that we ignore the current mainstream media as it is, because they are indeed now, and as you have said, a very classic example that you have given of the particular station that you just mentioned now. I don't want to mention their name again, because indeed a part of the whole essence of the movement radio is to ignore the press, this current propaganda machine that they use to dispense junky news items for the people. We want to ignore them. Instead of building boreholes, we must build more media stations that hears the people's voice and the people's pain, really. And that is what the movement really stands for. We want to champion the voices of people to use the platform, and our resources should be directed against the system that enslave us and make criminal of our people. And well, we want to be different, and we are going to be different. Ifeoluwa, I would like you
Sir.
to take the next part of it that starts from unlike others. Can you please
All
take
right,
us
sir.
through that?
Okay, sir. Unlike the others that just regurgitate the oppressors' voices and opinions, we want to be focused on the real people voice. We want to be alternative message to viewers, to reorientate them, revolutionize the minds of the people, and empower them while we aggressively tear down the allied hegemony to information and their compromised nature into our plight. These are tough orders, but we must try to achieve this.
Continue.
Thank you so much. Please
Praising,
continue.
okay, praising the effort of those doing great.
Oh, before you go on that, um, is it possible I could share some pages here, or you that means you have to go off the one you're sharing?
Yes, yes,
Ibukun?
you can share from your side of things. Yes.
Okay. If it appears, let me see if it appears. I wanted to share the breakdown of what if I just read just now. Well, whereby the solutions of the movie, that is, first of all, is to tackle and identify the problem. Two is to identify and castigate the enemies within. You have to know who's your friend, who's your enemy, and if you don't do that, if you continue to have a friend as an enemy, you continue to do that, and that's a terrible thing. Now we have to reject voices of the ruiners and the elite. You can't continue to listen to the Arise, the channels, the NTA, the LTV, because those are their voices. They only echo what these people want to do. That's what they do. There's their voices. You cannot say you're trying to fight a problem and then you're echoing the voices that are creating the problem, because they are going to protect their own interest. You have to create alternative source of information and media, whereby not the same, because basically all human beings, you are what you eat. What you listen to is what you eventually become. If all your life you've heard that the governor stole money, eventually when you become a governor, you're going to steal money, because that's all you've heard all your life. You understand? We are what we feed. So getting alternative media, identifying the people who are your enemies, ignore the mainstream news media, create alternative, build media houses, join forces with people who are progressively minded like you. You have to join forces with them. When you hear them talk, when you ask for their phone number, their information, and you connect with them. That's what you have to do. And also, you have to form a movement without a political flag. That means you have to grow and prepare the movement. You have to call out moderates and hypocrites. Those are the dangerous ones. The moderates and the hypocrites. Those are the most dangerous one in any struggle, because they would say they are with you, but they have a side, and evil is not neutral. You have to be very clear on that with them. Evil is not neutral. You cannot be evil and say you're neutral. No, 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 no. You can't. Well, the moment you stand your neutrality ground with evil, you have taken a side with evil. So there's no neutrality clause in this. None at all. None, absolutely none. I would have loved to share my, as we go read further. Let me see. What other point did she read out now before she goes into people who are being worthy to mention? Although that your list is an old list from last year, which has been edited. If I can share my Facebook page, I can come up with you'll see the new list of people who have been contributing positively, you know. And it's important how we use words. If you're joining them in saying we have democracy, when you know we don't have democracy. What we have is economic sabotage and treason. So when you don't use words right, you know, I don't know. Let me see. Can I send you the edited one? If you
Yes,
can, because that one.
yes, yes. If you can send it to me, and
Let me send it. Let me
I'll
send it
project it.
to you. And apart
Yeah.
from that, let me just end this key objective and solution part with we have to use technology right. All this Facebook, WhatsApp, and X, we have to get the clowns out of the palace. We have to use technology right to orientate the mind. The oppressor only captures the mind of the oppressed. Once you can free their mind, the rest would definitely follow. I'm sending you an edited version of this, and if you can get on my Facebook page from where you are there, also it's on my Facebook page too.
Is it
You'll
on my
see.
email or WhatsApp?
No, on my Facebook page. If your
No, no.
Facebook is
Where did
open,
you send the link?
I posted it this morning.
Okay, okay. Your Facebook. But you said you want to send me the link,
The
or
updated. I want to send you the updated version. Hold on,
yeah,
I'm sending
yeah,
it now.
please do. Yeah.
Okay, I'm sending you now.
So
But
while we
meanwhile,
wait,
see if you can get on the Facebook page and
Of our
get
history
that
as a country, we
get
have
that list
continued to
read out,
struggle
the
with the
right
true
one, not that
nature of our mission and
because
purpose.
some people have been
Most
removed
of us
from
have
it.
been living witnesses to the great predicament that has befallen our people and our nation. And despite this hardship, few among us have been guided by an
We are almost
unwavering
done, and then
commitment
we're
to the
going to
pursuit
go
of
take a
justice.
little break.
Our collective
I'm
purpose in
going to
this
send it
life
to you now.
is to determine whether we as a people and a generation will fulfill or betray our common destiny. Thus, the need for a movement rooted in truth, justice, and love. As we transition to the next phase in our collective history, some of us believe that we have to work diligently to chart a clear path forward for the country, heading in the wrong direction, for justice, for equity, for enlightenment, and to reject ignorance, and for a chance to have full citizenship rights in our motherland. Problem, as hydra-headed as it may be, can be summarized as these three key facts. I mean, it is best summed up as 1. Our collective silence. 2. The enemies within. 3. The elites, or the big man. Comparing big manism to apartheid, big manism is worse than apartheid. The other parts or issues we have are mere symptoms. These three facts is what the Movement Radio intends to tackle, address, and deal with. This is why we are launching the Movement Radio. We want to champion the voice of the people, to use the platform and our resources against the system that enslave us and make criminals of our people. Unlike the others that just regurgitate the oppressor's voices and opinions, we want to be focused on the real people voice. We want to be an alternative message to viewers, to reorientate them, revolutionize the minds of the people, and empower them, while we aggressively tear down the elite's hegemony to information and their compromised nature in our plight. Our programming and format. 1. General lists, top hit of the week, literatures. 2. No news but headlines and bottom lines. 3. Music taste. 4. Thematic, particular subject, politics, literature, Niger-specific. 5. Local format, current event, historical events, law review, village, city, region. 6. Community format, religion, sexuality, ethnicity, jobs, and professions. It won't be that easy, But your part or your role, it will be easy. Just click, just download, just call in, just register your views. Just send us info. Just participate. In fact, just do it. As a progressive platform for Africans globally, the Movement Radio is proud to provide a space for individuals seeking to connect with like-minded
Yes,
people
I think I have
who are
found it.
passionate about justice.
I have found it. Let me project it on the screen right now. Let me just share the screen. I can see it. Let me just share that screen. Okay, the updated version of. Let me.
Yeah, of course you can add to it or subtract from it. Those are the ones that I see.
Let me see. Okay, this is you. That's it. And of course, let me just read. Oh, okay. Can you do the reading, Ifeoluwa? Are you still there? Oh, I think. Oh, so sorry. Ifeoluwa,
Well,
can you hear us now, Ifeoluwa?
yeah, you must have turned off our microphone. Yeah.
Yeah. Please read what's on the screen. Let me enlarge it a little bit.
Okay, sir.
Okay. Can you see it very clearly?
Yes, sir.
All right. Please read what's on the screen.
All right, sir. We thank and honor these great Nigerians. It takes each individual's effort to rescue a nation. Dele Farotimi, number one. How we wish we had 100,000 of him. Two, General Omo Badero of Temple of Truth of the Mayegun Diary. How we wish we had 100,000 of him. Three, Omoyele Sowore. How we wish we had 100,000 of him. Four, Jude Bella. How we wish we had 100,000 of him. Five, Edmond Obilu. How we wish we had 100,000 of him. Six, Mr. Elvis of Niger Watch with his lovely Edo taste. How we wish we had 100,000 of him. Seven, Mommy Diaspora of Niger Watch. How we wish we had 100,000 of her. Eight, Adeola Fayun. How we wish we had 100,000 of her. Nine, Peter Akon. How we wish we had 100,000 of him. 10, John Azar. How we wish we had 100,000 of him. 11, Inebe Efyong. How we wish we had 100,000 of him. 12, Deji Adeyanju. How we wish we had 100,000 of him. 13, Dr. Charles Akoki. How we wish we had 100,000 of him. 14, Aisha Yesufu. How we wish we had 100,000 of her. 15, Ben Jokes. How we wish we had 100,000 of him. 16, Omoyes Corner. How we wish we had 100,000 of her. 17, Ifeoma Edum. How we wish we had 100,000 of her. 18, Led Media. How we wish we had 100,000 of him. 19, and many, many others. I can't remember to mention their names, doing great things. Please include and add them on this list because their efforts are not forgotten. 20, just like Fela Anikula Kosuki, Danny Fawayewi, effort was not forgotten. I wish we had just 1,000 of him in this year. As Nigerians, we also have those who belong to the Hall of Fame and the House of Debate, those propagandists and poison spreaders among us like Dr. Abasi, Fani Kayode, Reno Omokri, lawyer Onopaska, and an internet troll called One Fool Went to Mall, and those that follow them, and several other cowards and the five people out there.
Thank you so much. Any comments?
Yeah, it's important that we start to call ourselves out, those of us who are part of this big problem, the propagandists among us, the poison spreaders. We have a few names. I don't know if you guys have some additions of names you want to add. They are the real problem, you see. While the likes of the Tinubu, the Babangidas, and the Obasanjos are at the top, you have all these miscreants, mimic soldiers that are their foot soldiers. And if you don't deal with them, you won't be able to have that collective voice that you need to move the country forward. They need to be castigated, identified, called out, and don't fall for their blackmail of victimization. Oh, you insulted me. Oh, you don't know your age. Listen, not all opinions are equal. Some opinions don't belong to the mainstream, and these people needs to be called out, need to be called for who they are, as enemies of the nation, enemies of the people, because they just cannot see beyond their stomach, beyond their nose, and the dangers they are causing is going to affect generations of children yet unborn. You know, the children being kidnapped. We can go on and on and on with the list. You should call them who they are. They are cowards and they are depraved people. You know, that's just basically it. So let's as you go into the next stage, which is basically talking about how we intend to present ourselves as we go forward with this objective. Like we said, we are not neutral. We are not value neutral. We have a bias and we have a purpose. We have those we won't tolerate their madness, their stupidity, their evil. You can't be neutral to evil and say you're giving all opinions. No, that's why we don't see a child rapist on the screen. That's why we don't see a pedophile on TV, because not all opinions are equal, and the Nigerians need to understand that in their hypocrisy of purpose. Well, that's what I want to see on that as you guys continue the reading. We're almost done with part one, and it's good so far. So, do you want me to
Yes.
take the next part? I
No,
have
no,
it
no,
in a
no,
summarized version.
no
Huh?
problem. No problem. Let's
Okay, I'll
just
just go ahead.
yeah.
So basically, the movement radio programming and format is going to take the following based on content based. We're going to have a general list of top hits. We don't do news, because all the news, all these media houses and all their internet troll, all they do is regurgitate the news that the oppressors give them. They just repeat it and repeat it. So we don't do news. We do headlines and bottom lines. No news, no newspapers. We'll do music taste. We'll do thematic subjects, politics, literature that will be Nigerian specific. And then we'll talk about local, current, and historical views. And we will look at laws and review laws and positions. All these are meant to be educative, informative, reorientating the mind, revolutionizing the mind. And then we will continue with our continuous information session as possible that we could do it. So the only thing is the call to action for everyone listening who want to join us. Join this march to freedom. Abandon this evil that you're carrying a flag behind. All you can do is real easy. Click, download, call in, register your views, participate. And this is our first launch, and we are concluding the first part of our programming for now. We're going to take a little break of about 2 or 3 minutes and listen to some good music, and then we'll come back with part 2 of our program. Trying to put it and get me without one best man. Roll for fresh tape, just off for what I get laid. Might not template up, they just trying to pull out the room. They don't wanna see me when I'm breathing. They don't wanna see me when you yo, roast and billion. 140 living. They don't wanna see me when I'm
Yo, bro, somebody. 140 living. They don't wanna see me when I'm breathing grinning. They don't wanna see me breathing. Roads are building. 140 living. They don't wanna see me when I'm breathing grinning. They don't wanna see me like, yeah, I'm rolling a bit. Man, take over the lip, smoking. Trying to get dough on a race. Won't stop this and I'm rich. Top swing. Road number one, I come to that Jose. Cheap it off the propane. Okay, I was lit with my rose. I'm a rolling a bit. I'm a rolling a bit. Man, take over the lip like. I'm rolling a bit. I'm rolling up. I'm rolling up there. Let's take over there. I'm ready to see it up the propane. I'm the one that comes for that all day. Okay, we got to step on this. Okay, I'm gonna live with the whole thing. Okay, that's okay. Everyone got like I'm over here. Roadside billion, 140 living. They don't wanna see me when I breathe and grinning. They don't wanna see me like, yo, roadside billion, 140 living. They don't wanna see me when I yo, roadside billion, 140 living. They don't wanna see me when I'm breathing. They don't wanna see me grinning. Yeah, roadside billion, 140 living. They don't wanna see me when I'm breathing grinning. They don't wanna see me grinning. مشكلة لا 140 living. They don't wanna see me when I'm 140 living. They don't wanna see me when I'm breathing grinning. They don't wanna see me when I'm rolling a bit. I'm rolling up. I'm rolling a bit. I say no to the lid. Okay, we got to step on this. Okay, everyone got like I'm roadside billion, 140 living. They don't wanna see me when I'm breathing grinning. They don't wanna see me like, yo, roadside billion, 140 living. They don't wanna see me when I'm roadside billion. 140 living. They don't wanna see me when I'm breathing. They don't wanna see me breathing. Yeah, roadside billion, 140 living. They don't wanna see me when I'm breathing. They don't wanna see me breathing. مشكلة لا.
Okay, that's it. So we're going straight to now part two. We have a video clip of somebody in the 70s, in 1970, talking about Nigeria. If we can just copy the link and paste on your search and share, unless you want me to do it from this side. I don't have that share capability.
I can
Right
do it.
now.
Just a moment. I will share the screen now.
Okay. You have any comments, additions?
No, not at all.
Yeah.
But okay.
You can hardly tell this is a black nation. But furthermore, the accompanying agreement, Nigerians agreed to live in the hands of England. The educational system, the justice system, the finance system, and the resources. So here we are independent. Here's how it went in Nigeria. We are independent. Hooray! Independence! Wonderful. But England will determine what you do as far as education is concerned, will determine how money is spent and for what, will determine how resources are used, and will determine justice. Is that independence? Nigeria, very important country. 110 million people strong. Powerful.
That's 1970.
Variety in climate. Nigeria has everything to win as a black country. When Nigeria was becoming, and the crackers really didn't want to give Nigeria up. They did not, because Nigeria was too much wealth, too much of everything. And it had it in a very dynamic personality, the people of Nigeria. Well, when you read the Constitution of Nigeria, you can hardly tell this is a black nation. But furthermore, the accompanying agreements, Nigerians agreed to live in the hands of England. The educational system, the justice system, the finance system, and the resources. So here we are independent. Here, we're independent. Hooray! Independence! Wonderful. But England will determine what you do as far as education is concerned, will determine how money is spent and for what, will determine how resources are used, and will determine justice. Is that independence? Nigeria, very important country. 110 million people strong. Powerful land.
Go to the next, the next video.
All right. I'm on it. I'm going to the next video now. Thank you so much.
Yeah, that was in 1970. So you can imagine how the mighty are falling. Even though then she was still highlighting the problem. I'm sending you a few articles that will for today and their topics. Okay.
All right.
By your email. Okay. So go to the next video.
Yes. I'm going to the next video now. Just 1 minute.
Yeah.
About this very powerful government agency. Perhaps we can look to have government oversight because
we are now in part 2, right?
To act like
we're now in part 2. Yes,
we fought against 2 years ago. Now, I found YouTube in my final year in the university. A very good friend of mine had trusted me enough to invest in my first ever attempt at entrepreneurship. We started the restaurant business together, and in the beginning, we were redefining what food business was in the university. But the sad truth was, we weren't making any money. The idea was making food deliveries on campus.
This video just to show how Nigeria happened to me, and that's one of the guys we said that
the operation was going well. The business was taking its toll on me, no doubt. I was literally working around the clock, but I enjoyed it. Every bit of it was fun for me. However, working so hard and having no money to show for it was frustrating for me as well. My friend, on the other hand, was having a good time. He was literally bankrolling me at this point. So one day, I sat myself down and decided to learn whatever it was my friend was doing to earn himself money. This was when I was introduced to YouTube. When I created my first YouTube channel, I didn't know what I was doing. Everything was strange. No idea how to tell a story, not to talk of camera or editing. So after a few days, I quit. But hunger brought me back. This time, I decided to learn by copying. I literally copied whatever my friend was doing on the platform. And it worked. The channel blew up. The numbers were crazy. It makes me want to cry when I check my current view count and start to compare to those times when it was just re-uploaded content, you know. Anyways, the channel is no more, so don't ask me why I'm not uploading there anymore. As my channel blew up, so did my social status. I got a car, bought properties, and after graduating, I got married to my secondary school love. Yeah, I can see this. But before our wedding, we started another business. This time, a supermarket. The business was doing well, and this was when I decided maybe it was time I invested in media. I started a brand called BTV, hired a few wonderful people, and surrounded by friends, we thought we were going to make it big. But to me, something was missing. I wanted to create this buzz around what we were doing. So after speaking with a few friends, I started a challenge, the 1 million naira challenge, where people would discuss and debate on a certain topic. We would select a winner who will become 1 million naira richer. This to me was the way of giving back. I thought I was helping my community. I thought I was doing something great. Well, that's my story, or part of it. Well, what happened next unraveled my whole experience and threw me into a dungeon where I've stayed for over 3 years. It was 8 a.m. on the 8th of March 2019. I had worked all through the night, so getting up early wasn't in my plans that day. But my phone had other ideas. When the phone rang that morning, I was angry I didn't put it off before going to bed. But when I saw the name of the caller, my eyes brightened up. It was from the bank. I was wondering what could be so important that they were calling me that early. Well, the message quickly changed my mood. Do you have a quarrel with anyone? The caller asked. I hesitantly said no, because I didn't know where this was going. Have you exchanged words with anyone recently? Please think carefully. Those were the words of the caller. So I asked, what was going on?
Are we
And
taking the entire
this
thing?
was the moment I was
We could
informed
skip
that
a few
the
sections
EFCC
forward
has
just to
ordered
get the
all
main
the
idea
banks to freeze
of
my
what happened
account
to him,
and to arrest me
how
should I
Nigeria
visit any of
happened
the
to him.
branches. I woke my wife who was
You
sleeping
understand?
peacefully beside me and
At
I said
least
to
10
her,
or 15
babe,
minutes.
there's
Absolutely.
trouble. I mean, we had just started construction on a property
It's just 20
and
minutes
a
anyway.
payment was due for the contractor.
Yeah.
Now I can't access any of my accounts. I placed a call through to my lawyer and told him to respect me. And when I got to his office, narrated the whole information I had just received to him, he was angry. Asked me, what do you want to do? I told him I wanted to go to the office that same day and confront whoever gave that order to freeze my account. I wasn't going to run from a fight knowing I did nothing wrong. But he advised against it because that was on a weekend and he didn't want anything that would make me spend a night there. But I didn't listen. So I went home, printed all my payment slips from Google AdSense, got all my documents together, and I went to see another lawyer. But she too said the same thing. She wanted us to pay them a visit on Monday morning. So after a few consultations, I followed her counsel and we waited. It was the longest weekend of my entire life. My temperature rose, my blood pressure was rising as well. I questioned myself time and again. So many thoughts flashed through my mind. I remembered asking myself if it was possible to have committed a financial crime without knowing it. This was the beginning of my trauma. I couldn't wait till 8 a.m. on Monday morning. I wanted all this to be done and over with so I could return to my normal life. Little did I know that this was my new normal. When I woke up that morning, I didn't want to drive myself that day. So I called the manager of my supermarket and told him to come drive us to the EFCC zonal headquarters. He was already aware of the situation, so they had instructions not to open the business until this was sorted. After kissing my wife goodbye, we drove to my lawyer's residence where we picked her up and off we went to the EFCC's office. This was my first time in any form of police office. I had seen movies where people were interrogated by law enforcement and never in my entire life had I imagined it would be that tough and tense. My lawyer told me repeatedly to relax and just tell them the truth about what I do. So I did. When we first got there, I saw some familiar faces from the banks, 3 of them, and I greeted them because they all knew me at this point. I didn't think it was what they had come to do at the EFCC. After all, they were a financial institution and this is the agency in charge of financial crimes. So I didn't read any meaning to what was going on. But there was more to it. I think I should have known because my lawyer whom I have come with to defend myself also represents one of the big banks that had frozen my account. In fact, one of our associates from her law firm was there that morning with some documents from the bank. I had no idea how connected it all was. When the EFCC officials started questioning me, they seemed friendly at first. They said they wanted to know me, but the more I told them about myself and the business I was into, the more questions they seemed to have. They were just never satisfied, and it was surprising to me. This was when it occurred to me that these guys were fishing for something. Thinking about it now, I regret telling them anything at all because if they had something incriminating on me, they would have said so. We were there answering questions for over 5 hours. I got tired and I told them I wanted to go home. This was when they brought out a file and told me to write my statement and that anything and everything I said could be used against me in court. So I said, whoa, what the hell is going on here? Am I being charged with some crimes? It was at this point the investigating officer said that they were investigating me for fraud and money laundering, and that I will have to cooperate with them so they can help me. He said they had obtained an order to remand me in prison, but before that, they would love to go search my house for more evidence. I was boiling inside. I was terrified. I had no words to say. At this moment, he brought out the documents that my banks had submitted to them that morning. It was at this moment it made sense to me. Like, my banks were here just this morning with all of these papers, and now they were in on all of this. They wouldn't let me make the call. They just drove me in their van with guns to my house like I was some criminal they were taking to prison. While in my house, I insisted on searching their pockets before letting them in. I told them I didn't trust them and I believed they were trying to frame me. So they agreed. After searching them, they turned everything upside down. Went through my wife's undies. It was and humiliating. My neighbors stared at me like a criminal who had been busted at last. My lawyer couldn't stop any of that. She was shocked as the FCC kept insisting that they were acting within their rights. After taking my documents and other properties, including my MacBook, my email password, and login for my YouTube channel.
And ladies and gentlemen, that was the Bella's ordeal, and it was
So that was Nigeria happening to
Nigeria
him.
happening to him
Basically,
in real time. What a very sad story.
yeah, institutions that are meant to protect you are extorting money from you. Are the extortionists.
Mm, mm, mm. And that's very sad. So we would not play the entire thing. We would like you to go to
Yeah, we can't play the whole thing. We got to move on to the next one.
yes,
But so
that's
basically, that's what a lot of Nigerians need to understand, that it's just a matter of time before it will be their turn. You know, when you have institutions that are supposed to protect you turns to an extortion agency against its own people. You know, like I said, those are weapons fashioned against us, and it keeps happening. That's just one person's story. There are a lot of people who you don't even hear their story at all. Their story don't even get a chance to come out. You know, that's just one. Let's go to, since video is a little bit relaxing. Let's just play it and watch the people dancing, and then we can go on to the next one. Ìbọn méjì tó nílé òun ti ṣú kókó. Ẹ̀kọ́ fún wọn, ìlàjẹ́ kò ní burú forí, kàdéfìlà forí gún ẹsẹ̀. Kò ní burú forí, kàdéfìlà forí gún ẹsẹ̀. Ẹnu wọn lè fà, ẹnu wọn lòjé, àwọ̀ bẹ́lẹ́nu méjì ṣeré mọ́. We'll turn it off before they block us. So. Go to the next one. Gbogbo tó bímọ méjì. Òtítọ́ a sọ fún wọn, aṣíwájú yìí là jẹ́, kò ní burú forí, kádéfìlà forí gún ẹsẹ̀.
That was a very nice. Like these are Nigerians really.
Did that make you laugh? Okay, let's go to the next one. The next one is also Nigeria happening to somebody that lives in Ikoyi, Victoria Island, and the rich people. So I guess the rich also cry. I guess so. Let's play that one. There's a reason we're showing you individual stories of when Nigeria happens to people. For those school children and their teachers, they are in the bush now. Nigeria has happened to them. For these people, it's always good to hear their stories directly from these people's mouths.
My eyes are red because Mama over here has been busy crying. Because in this Nigeria, if you don't wake up in stress and anxiety, they are not okay. If it's not the government trying to screw you, basically, it's your landlords or it's the people. It's always something in this country. But today I'm vexing. Today I'm actually so exhausted. So let me tell you how for the first time yesterday, I was able to get into the routine of my painting. I ended up going to sleep by 9 a.m. today, knowing that I have a lot of work, but I was into it. I said, God, please, now that you brought back my desire again, let me paint. Go to sleep by 9 o'clock. I wake up this morning. I said I will wake up after later on, but my phone rings. And when I look at my WhatsApp, I see a message from my landlord. Now, mind you, when I moved to Nigeria the first time, I lived in Ikoyi and my rent was 2.5 million, right? It was a fantastic deal. The exterior of the house wasn't, but I made it inside my little. Now, they had a JV, right? So we had to move. I struggled very hard to find a place. I finally found one that was big enough to carry both my studio and my home. Cool. The problem now is the bill was way higher than what I was used to. The problem also was they did not want 1 year rents because landlords in Nigeria now in Lagos have decided that no, they must suck your blood at the end of the day. So they asked for 2 years rent, apart from 10% legal fee, 10% caution fee, and 10% lawyer agency fee. Yeah, pay for 2 years. Calm. Now, there were some little things I noticed at the beginning of me getting this house, and I'm like, oops, this might be a problem for me later, but what I serve is very strong. So let's go. Now, this is my 4th year in this house, right? Last year, 2 months before the expiration of my 2 years rent, my landlord decides to send me a bill saying, listen, this is the new increase. 2 months before, he went from 8 million, which was already high, because God knows it's not just rent. It is abnormal, the amount of rent in Lagos. No problem. Now, I will say, okay, let me move to the mainland. But guess what? My work, it will affect my work, and I cannot be spending hours in traffic. What do you think the new rent is? He went from 8 million to 14.5 million. And I'm like, what? Out of my sleep, I woke up and I called him. And of course, out of vexation and confusion at this point, I'm like, and then I start crying because me, like I always say, I cry when I'm happy or when I cannot beat somebody up or say what I want to say, because this is how it is. People pinch you, people beat you, and then they tell you not to cry, and they tell you how to cry, and they tell you actually, words. Finally, I had to get my lawyer involved because clearly it wasn't going anywhere with my landlord, Finally spoke to him and everything. He now says, listen, okay, let's do 12 million. I spoke to my lawyer. I said, see, because of the way the economy is, like everything I work for cannot be going into rent. Please talk to him that this rent is made for at least 2 years. It cannot be increased every goddamn year. He said, I don't know what happened, but anyway, now had to struggle to make the balance of the rent, which 8 million was already high. Now we are 12 million. This morning, I wake up to the message from him. Let me read you this message, because at this point, maybe God is trying to tell me that I should just fix my life in a different way. Look at this message. Good morning, Wendy. How are you? I hope you're doing well. Your rent will be expiring in 2 months and some days from now. I decided not to write official letter to you regarding increments because I don't want to put you under emotional stress like you displayed the last time. I want you to kind of respond to this message on how much you want to add on your own consideration as an increment. Bearing in mind that 2 bedrooms flats are now 12 million in that neighborhood. 4-bedroom duplex with BQ like the one you occupied in between is in between 20 and 25 million. You see where we're going? Okay. At the moment in your neighborhood. But I want you to respond what you consider fair as an upward review from 12 million you paid. First of all, I didn't know we're trying to get rich off people's backs. Are we living in the same economy? The same economy that pays average people 70K per month, 70,000 as a civil servant. You now expect the rest of us, because after all, every time I argue with them, they tell me, now you be on board and you can handle it. I never knew that being light-skinned means that we just have surplus of money. That's why when people come and they're like, oh, do this for me, pay my rent. People, just yesterday, somebody had the audacity to say, oh, please give me 1 point something million. I say, ha. I barely sleep again. I barely sleep. I'm always stressed. And I always tell people, don't wait till this economy affects you before you start speaking up. Because this economy will hit every person. I've not been able to save in a while. Can't do anything. I have to cut out the things I like because look at it. I stayed stressed the whole year, because I knew he would do something like this. And I responded very politely. See, listen, first of all, by law, you should give a yearly tenant 6 months notice before you have any increase. The only reason he's actually doing this right now is because he knows that if I was to change apartments, they will probably charge me 2 years and the stress of moving. So no, let's bombard her. But you see, I vexed this time. I'd rather sleep under the bridge than have to be pushed into a corner that I cannot. Life still has to happen. Diesel is at an all-time high. Like we cannot even, it's unrealistic at this point. How much we spend and how much money goes back. We are literally stressing and dying just to pay people. Just to pay people. How can I be spending more than I make for rent? It doesn't even make sense. But no problem. I responded to him. I said, see, listen, first of all, send me an official letter because all this, it's not going to work, And then I stated all the things I have had to fix because according to my contract, he was supposed to take care of anything external that gets destroyed, damaged. I've been the one that reset the sewage tank. I'm the one that had to fix the whole yard because it was sinking from flood. This estate was promised 24 hours electricity. Nothing like that. We barely see light. There's flood every other day, but no problem. Then he says, the house beside, and I reminded him how the house next to me, which is his own,
Yes, we.
Yeah, you see, it's important we get people's. Yeah, you see, it's important we get individual stories of people's stories to match up what we say, or else some people will just say, "Oh, you're just being theoretical." When you put a name to what we say, Nigeria is a graveyard. You begin to send a message home. You don't have to wait till it touches you. I have an interesting exchange with one of my colleague. I think this guy, me and him served, and I think I will share that because that experience too, I find it very, very, very interesting. It's good, people. The funny thing about this girl, she did a follow-up video on what happened to her. I'm even surprised how much they are paying over there. Did she just say 20 million or was it 40 million? I tried to calculate that in dollars. I'm like, okay, Nigerians are. What was the big price they said they wanted to move it up to?
40 million.
15 million. That's how much in dollars.
That's about $12,000.
$12,000. Is that for a year or for a month? She didn't say.
Yeah, it's for a year.
That's a lot. Anyway, let me tell you the funny thing is that she did a second follow-up video on that.
Around minimum wage of 70,000 naira. So how can you?
Yeah, she doesn't. Obviously, she doesn't make minimum wage. She's an Ikoyi girl. I mean, I'm not. What's the name? It's Banana Island lady. Not because she's light skinned, but she's kind of pretty. I mean, the numbers she's calling you must have a pretty good job. Probably she's been paid in dollars. Let's not assume. But our story is of interest because, this is how we personalize people's stories on what the tragedy they are going through. Yeah, so the Nigerian tragedy, it's going to touch everybody. Whether you're a Bomber Boy today, you're Davido, if you don't join hands to find a way to fix that country, eventually it will touch everybody. You see, it's a lawless environment, and all it happens is that the government exploits the people under the government, now exploit whoever is under them. So you just find the next person available for you to exploit. So you pass on that pain from the high to the next level, to the next level, to the next level, until everybody is in pain and everybody is using Panadol. Anyway, the reason we are bringing up those stories is that because there's an article from Farida Naborema. She's 36-year-old, very intelligent lady, very, very intelligent. We're going to be doing some issues, some events on our articles, on our analysis of the African condition and the Nigerian situation very soon in future. Now, she wrote this article about may Nigeria, there's an expression we constantly use, may Nigeria never happen to you. So we brought you two stories of two people Nigeria is happening to, one from the landlord, with the other one from the legal institution, the police, the courts, and the people that are supposed to protect them. You know, when your country, it becomes a weapon fashioned against you, what should be your response? And so I'll let you guys do the reading for whoever want to do it, whether you or Ife, and then I'll do a summary of that article on what should be your response when you're being faced with this weapon that is fashioned against you. Before you start reading, I wanted to share that with one of my colleagues after I sent them that, okay, there's going to be a show today, and the show will be talking about, the Nigerian condition. And I mean, people are just, I don't know, but it shouldn't surprise me though. It's not that it surprised me, but it's always good to have this kind of stories so that we all know. His name is Amuson Ayatoye. I believe we both served together. So actually, I should forward you that video he sent me. Very stupendous video that led into the conversation. We're not going to show that video here because it's one of those propaganda filled videos by one of these Agbadorians or these Tinubu boys, whereby they're saying that all the attacks and the killing that is going on in the country is because some people don't want him to, it's being carried out by the opposition. That's what the video said. I don't think I should send it to you. You're not going to watch. But anyway, so the person, the moment he sent me that video, I knew that it's one of them. So I responded by saying, please, because Nigeria is happening to those children in the forest now as we speak. You can say we're not talking about governors, senators, or any of those people other Nigerians like to talk about. We're talking about people being really affected by that environment they live in. You understand? Now, then this guy, Amuson, I told him to call onto the show and make his point. He sent me that video that is the opposition that is, let me say, how a coordinated attack against Asiwaju and Nigerians as the country is being carried out by opposition. Then I replied him and I said, please, are the children being kidnapped and the Nigerians being killed also just to attack Tinubu? We have totally gone mad. I told him, this child is stupid and we are saying that he should not die. That Omo go Enyumaku, it's a Yoruba proverb, that there is no bigger poison than stupidity. Nigerians remain stupid and majority of you will die by poverty, with poverty and in poverty. That's a Yoruba proverb. Almost stupid, you are saying that it will not die. The child is already dead. So he replied that I should post solutions to the Nigerian problem, please. He replied me. So I replied him and I said, go and ask your president, Tinubu. Then he replied, Alaba, now what for you? I said, he is the one you are paying to steal your children's future. Ask him and his gang of thieves for solution. Let's talk later. I said, and I told him to call into the show. Then he said, he said, okay. Then I replied again. I told him, ask your gang of thieves to bring back the children stolen under their watch. So then he replied me, this is what they do. They want to play victim. Said, I'm very quick to name names with question mark. Don't fight from the diaspora. Come and let's build Nigeria together. That's usually their line. I said, yes, if you two got quicker in calling a thief, maybe we won't be in this mess. Instead of putting your head in the sand like fools do. The Nigeria that you and your brothers in crime are set ablaze. Come and spend some months in Nigeria to assess the situation. Akingbe Okere Mo Didun one. I don't know what that crap means. Anyway, that's what he wrote. Then I replied, that's the one you want to build. Keep fooling yourself. You should be worried about putting the fire out so that your children don't be homeless or burnt to death. You keep using the wrong words. By the way, I hope you are a billionaire now based on those you support. If you're not, then you are even dumber than you look. That's me responding to him. Because if you're supporting this and you're not a billionaire now, like Bajamia Abila who collected his 400 billion and that Adeyemi, then you are even a bigger fool than you look. Then I replied, I said, ignorance is the money I'm sending home. I said, you are very ignorant. I told him he's very ignorant that you're saying that I'm not doing that. The money I'm sending home that is feeding those you have impoverished from your stupidity. I hope you have children. Better start thinking of what will become of them. Then he said he doesn't understand. And then I replied, I said, you see, what happened to your brother in crime, Onopasa? He was even louder than you, yet he died without medical attention. Ignorance is pushing your narrative, and abroad money is saving lives now instead of home money that can't buy corn or akara. You better start to understand time is not on your side. Then he said, now replied me that I should advise him on what to do as a friend. I said, talk against those you support. They are the weapons fashioned against you and your children. They are your enemies, and you are nothing but food for them to eat like chicken. Wake up and start doing something for yourself and your children. So talking against them will change the narrative. It starts, at least it's a start, I replied. And if people like you are not behind them, they will not have protection to keep doing harm to you and your children. You keep feeding the lion that will eat you while they get fatter and their children are abroad. Do the maths and wake up from your slumber or comatose. It's a start. If you and someone else you convince do the same, your death, destruction, destiny will change, and your enemies, leaders will run away. But because you support them, that's why we are where we are today. Just do something, say something for yourself and your children's sake. Nobody is coming or going to do it for you. You better wake up and smell the coffee. Let your children see you for who you are, that you are not a coward and that you don't support thieves, and you fought for them when it matters instead of just follow and you still in the same place your entire life. Then he replied, thanks for the advice. Is that all? I said, that's not all, though. That's never all. But half word is better to said to an Omoluabi. If it enters inside his mind, it will become whole. That's another Yoruba proverb. I said, I
But
said,
but but, but you indeed bamboozled him with so much bazooka rhetoric.
oh, I have
You
to.
made him so uncomfortable, and you told him the truth, and that is the real.
You have to
That is
tell them
real
the truth.
boldness.
That is what they are running away
You're
from.
very bold in telling it as it is, really. Mm,
That's what they are running away from. You have to tell them the
mm,
truth.
mm.
You know? Yeah. So who's reading this article? Is Ife still there with us or she's out?
I'll most likely read it. She has disconnected from us,
Okay,
so
I'll
I
have
will.
the I have the summarized version here. I mean the power. I wish I could show people this slide here, but I'm not able to. I will fix that later.
Yeah,
Go
we'll have
on.
to fix that from your own end so that you can
Yeah.
do the same thing I'm doing from this side of things. So yeah, there is in Nigeria. Okay, there's an expression in Nigeria
Use
used
constantly.
constantly on social media. Every time a preventable tragedy strikes someone, A sick person who arrives at the hospital and dies of lack of blood, oxygen, or a bed, a person who is kidnapped, a fire that claims lives that proper infrastructure would have saved, a radio accident, oh, a road accident, I mean to say, caused by a road that should have been fixed. Nigerian says Nigeria has happened to you. The country has happened to you, the citizens. The nation itself has arrived in your life as a catastrophe. I have read this expression so many times that I've lost count. And in most of our African countries, you can replace Nigeria with our own nation's country's name because the same scenarios repeat itself everywhere with the same devastating regularity. But what disturbs me is not the expression itself, it is the acceptance embedded in it. In 1960s, the psychologist Martin Seligman conducted a series of experiments that would become one of the most cited findings in the history of psychology. He subjected dogs to repeated electric shocks from which they could not escape. When he later placed those same dogs in a situation where escape was entirely possible, most of them did not try. They lay down and whimpered. They had learned through repeated exposure to inescapable pain that their actions made no difference. He called this learned helplessness. The collapse of the will to act produced the collapse of the will to act produced not by permanent captivity, but by the repeated experience of captivity that was never interrupted by relief.
Yeah, did you see the
I think
helplessness in that guy's response to me?
absolutely,
Continue.
absolutely, absolutely. I think about Travis. I think about that every time I read the phrase "Nigeria has happened to you" because we have been subjected to enough preventable death, met with impunity, enough outrages absorbed without consequence, enough systems that failed and were never repaired and failed again. And an entire continent has begun to mistake its captivity for the natural order of things. We have learned across generation of uninterrupted governance failure that our actions change nothing. And so we have stopped acting, we have stopped demanding, we have developed a ready-made phrase for the moment our countries kill us. And we
Can I break
deploy
that
it.
down for the people listening before you continue? Okay,
Mm,
the writer Farida Naborema is talking about the phrase now when we use the phrase Nigeria
mm,
happens to you. He said the
mm,
phrase Nigeria has happened to you indicates a Nigerian expression of tragedy. It's replaced with country name instead of it implies the acceptance of that tragedy. Now, she talked about a dog experiment whereby the dog is exposed to pain. After a while, extreme pain. After a while, the dog doesn't make an effort anymore. I think the experiment was conducted by Marlin Segman's dog experiment. Now, they said that is what has happened to majority, 90 to 95% of Nigerians currently now. 90%. Because they've experienced so much trauma since independence, since the coming of the white man. They're no longer able to react to it no more. So they have internalized the logic of that phrase, whereby when Nigeria happened to you, the country is a natural disaster. The impersonal and inevitable, no author. No one is responsible for it. No one is held accountable for it. So you're surrendering to your belief in change. So you don't believe change is possible anymore. You're surrendering to believe in your responsibility. Those are two key parts. You're surrendering to your belief that a change is possible. That's a serious human dehumanization state. And you're also surrendering to the belief in your own responsibility, in your own God-given powers, inalienable rights that God has given you. You have surrendered it. So the prayer, may Nigeria never happen to you, is the prayer we say, which goes against one's own country, asking to be spared by your nation. You're begging God to say, spare me from my own country. You see? So does that does not ask for country to be fixed. That statement in itself, I don't know whether you've read it up to that point, or should I let you finish reading before I proceed? Yeah. That statement is not asking. Eh?
Yes, you are very right.
You have surrendered to you have surrendered your humanity. You have surrendered your belief in change. So you're no longer asking that situation can be changed. You're not asking you're asking for you to be spared. That's why everybody wants to jackpot. Everybody wants to leave. Everybody wants to be a big man. Everybody will collect bribe or do whatever they need to do to just survive. And you're asking for the machinery of failure to pass over you. Let it pass over me. That's common in our religious circle. You're asking for it. So governance failure, prayer indicate fundamental failure. If you live in the West, you will know that. That's why people don't go to church that much, because the things Nigerians go to pray for in church is what you readily get easily here. You understand? So the state's core purpose, of is not met. The state has not met its core purpose of existence. So citizens pray to be spared by their own country. That's why I say your country is a weapon fashioned against you. I'm not kidding. And that's what I was telling that man in that communication we just had. So moving beyond the learned helplessness, like the dog experiment show, this is happening to Nigerians in real time, in real life. That was why we cited a few of Nigerian experiences as part of our videos. You understand? What will it take to escape? That's the question Nigerians ask themselves. They need rupture or proof. That's Nigerians always looking for that miracle or that savior, that Moses to come and save them. They're waiting for Donald Trump to come and rescue them from their own problem that they created. You understand? Interrupting this continental learned helplessness. This is a learned helplessness because the dog has been exposed to so much pain. He knows that if he makes an effort, he would only inflict more pain on himself. This is the state of mind of our fellow countrymen. So accepting countries as misfortune versus governance failure, that is the debate. If we were to turn this article into a question, are we accepting as a people or as misfortune versus government failure? Are we accepting our misfortune, or we are saying this is government failure? How many of us are saying this is government failure? Very few. Very few. That's why people still support the likes of Atiku, Tinubu, and all those Dema fools and all the people that have destroyed this country. That's why people still follow them, because they've accepted, they've surrendered their humanity. That's what this article by Farida Naborema is saying. And Nigerians need to hear stories like this. They need to hear articles like this. They need to read articles like this to begin to conscientize their mind as regard the type of trauma they've gone through that has dehumanized them. Even a slave is not at the state, or is low. A slave is higher than the state a typical Nigerian mind is. The Nigerian mindset. So, moving beyond this helplessness, what will it take to escape? How can I jackpot? How can I survive? Accepting my misfortune or calling it government failure. How many people listening to us now calls this Nigeria never happened to you a government failure? No. They're praying for that miracle. So there are two parts to resignation versus liberation. There are two parts to resignation. You either liberated or you resign and be a perpetual permanent slave till your deaths come. Our parents have made the mistake. We were slaves to the white man. They took our brothers and sisters to the Americans. They colonized our land and our mind. We are still slaves. And that's what Fela was talking about. Keep saying, you don't be slaves long before they don't release you now, but you never release it yourself. Are you listening? So it's now two parts. That's what this article is talking about. The two parts. The resignation part and the liberation part. So my country has happened to me. That's a surrender. That's a tragedy right there. My country has betrayed me. That means I want to hold someone, something accountable for that betrayal. I want to fight. That equals a fight. My country has betrayed me. That's separate from, that's separate from my country has happened to me. That's a surrender. You're thrown in the white towel. Now you're looking for a country to run to. You're running to South Africa where they're killing you, and you want to come on social media and debate why South Africans are killing you. Fix your own country. Now the distance between these is liberation. So two parts to resignation. My country has betrayed me. I want to hold it accountable, and I want to fight. Or the distance between these is liberation. So if you want to hold someone accountable, then you begin to think of how to fight. But you fight with words. That's what human beings do. You fight with words before you start fighting with stick, guns, stones, and bullets. And when you don't fight, you are allowing people to bully you. This was what happens between the interview for that channel reporter and that chieftain, APC chieftain yesterday. I wish we could show that to people if we had enough time. I don't know how we're doing on time. But that's this article. I don't know if you finished it, but I just gave you a rundown summary, the mind map of this girl's article. This is a very good article, on why, if we don't understand the psychological state of Nigerians and why we are in this state and why we are incapable of fighting. And that is what you see with the Olodo uprising, which is in. We have a lot on our plates today. I don't know how much we've covered so much. Ibuku, over to you.
Yeah, thank you so much. We have indeed covered so much ground. We are about to hit the part 3 of this very
We don't
great
have to finish it
response.
today. If we're tired, if we have to postpone and continue some other time, we just
We
do
have
that.
been up and running
Everything,
for the past
because
an hour, almost 2 hours now. We have been up and running.
almost 2 hours.
So
Yeah,
it's a solid show that we've had today.
yeah.
So maybe we should
So
finish the article and then take a couple
yeah,
more
I think, let me
of
see.
our program.
Yeah, there are several articles. There's the one on the Akara by Taiwo
Okay,
Akinlami,
can I put that
and
up?
then I think there's another one by the Olodo. We might not get to the Olodo uprising today. What do you think? But I don't know if we can
Yeah.
even do the Akara because we
Okay.
gotta watch a
I'm about to
7-minute
put the
video on how to
Akara.
make Akara.
I'm about to put the
Huh?
Akara up now. Yeah, I'm about to put the
What
Akara
did you
up.
say? I didn't hear you.
I said
Ibukun,
I'm
I didn't
already
hear
playing
you.
I'm playing the Akara content right now. Yes.
Oh, you're playing the Akara on. Okay, we're now in part 3, correct?
Yes. I believe. Let me check.
Yeah, before you start the Akara, one thing our people need to understand is that back in
Okay.
the days when we buy beans, there used to be stones in the beans, and you have to sort out your beans, like that lady is doing in the video. You have to separate the stones from the beans. If you don't separate the stones, the Nigeria would happen to you. Your teeth or something will be broken, and there are so many stones among us that we need to separate as we move forward. Back to you.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Let me turn on the
Peeling this
video,
behind the
the
camera.
audio.
I'll be making this soft and fluffy akara. Stay tuned and watch how to make perfect akara. So for this recipe, I'm using honey beans and I'll be using just 1 cup of honey beans.
And yeah, just to explain, we are now in part 3 of our program, and that part 3 it's about our food and our culture. It's important, and since akara and kulikuli is in the news, and we don't do news, making akara kulikuli is therefore more important to us than what that nuisance of a woman is talking about. So we bring you akara to your kitchen. and how to make akara. But first, separate the stones, because if you cook rice and corn with the stone inside without separations, then the Nigerian tragedy will happen to you. Nigeria will happen to you, period. So yes, we are just taking you through some culture and just nostalgia really. So we used to pick beans, and let's just go through the this material, then we'll move things to the next agenda. But I think we it would interest us to see this.
The
Did
first
I
thing I
did I
do
send you
after
the
measuring
article
out
for the
the beans
Akara?
is to pick out the stones and dirt,
Did I?
mostly picking out
No,
the stones because you
no.
don't want to be
I
gnashing
did not.
at it on stones and
Okay.
sand while eating akara.
Yeah, but
After picking out the
I believe
stones, I'm going
our
to
audience
transfer
will get
the
this
beans into a bowl
as a result
and
of
pour
watching
in
the
some
video.
water to soak it before peeling it. I won't
It's just
be
the educational
showing
part
how
of
I peel the
our
beans in this video. I have a
production,
video on how to peel your beans.
just in
So I'll
case.
be soaking this and peeling this behind the camera. This is what the beans looks like after I have peeled it. It is very clean and perfectly peeled. So after peeling the beans, I'm going to soak the beans for 15 minutes. I'm soaking the beans because I need it to be soft before blending. You need your beans to double in size. When you soak the beans for 15 minutes, one scotch bonnet pepper, and I'll be beans batter, your akara is going to come out flat. So if you want a fluffy akara, it is important for you to incorporate some air looks before and how it looks now.
Well, Akara is this the news that
You
is
remember
basically
the old Akara song? Ẹ má fi ìyá alákàrà ṣeré. Do you know that song?
absolutely is one of the folklore songs that we grew up with.
A
Really.
folklore song. If we had a choir, we would have had that song be sung. Ẹ má fi ìyá
Absolutely.
alákàrà ṣeré. Ó ta sánsán sí mi nímú. Ìyá alákàrà ó ń ta dòdò sí mi lẹ́nu. Ìyá alákàrà. That's interesting. So
Wonderful.
I'm
Yes,
sending
indeed.
you the Akara story and look at it. I don't by Taiwo Akinlami, and then we'll do it. We'll probably do it. I have this thing in front of me that makes it easy for me
With
to
bonfire, you
quickly,
can set up a
break
proper
it
web.
down.
Okay, absolutely, no problem. We are going to the next
There are two
video.
videos. I think one you
Yes,
showed one.
I'm going through the next one now already. I think
Okay.
it's showing already. Yes, that is the second bit. That is the second link, and
Okay.
that showcases the another way you can make the akara really. And akara is a very it's a lifesaver for many Nigerian homes right now. You have it prepared in some special ways. You can take it with gari, and you can just mount on it really. But the fact that we have made a spectacle about it, the Nigerian first lady decides to make a big deal of it, such that they want to create an empowerment initiative with it. Very underfunded initiative. How can you just say you want to give 50,000 naira when in actual fact it's not even enough to buy groundnut oil and the akara itself? Not to mention the gas to cook it, not to mention all of the utensils that you use to cook it, not to mention the table to place the akara on. And of course, the Nigerian factor is also there, because many people like myself, I like to get my akara very hot. But because there's no electricity, many of these akara sellers, they have to go with a very huge chunk of the akara, because customers will not just buy it, and there are no microwaves to microwave them. So it showcases a systemic rot that they are trying to, and they don't want people to see all of this, or know this, this side to the story. They don't want it, they just want people to focus on the fact that yeah, they are giving people 50,000 naira, and people just, and of course it's also a form of vote buying, to as many critics see it as such, that it is indeed a form of vote buying. And there's no big deal in Akara business, such that many people even are already doing the business, even without the government intervention. So why would anybody now make a big deal of it? So I think
I sent it
let's
to you.
maybe
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah, the Akara story will be our last one for the day, right?
Okay, I would
There's
go
part
through
three.
it.
What else is in part three? Oh, we have to do oh, we might have to do it some other time, maybe tomorrow or 2 or 3 days time. We can do part four later if you're tired. I know it's a long night.
Wow. Yeah,
It's up to you
we
though.
have
It's up to
we have
you.
indeed covered a great ground today, and my system also. I'm a victim of Nigerian. Nigeria is happening to me right now. My system is already. Before we go to, I think we have one more slide to take, one more material to. Let's take that material, then we can call it a day to move to part four later.
Okay.
My laptop is already showing about 13% right now, but I think
Oh
it should
yeah.
still take me for like
We
like
got
20
so
minutes.
much stuff. We always have
We've got
interesting things.
so
And for
much
those who
stuff.
are listening, I'm pretty sure they're learning.
We did well today, reading, and we covered so much ground.
We sure did. We
All
sure
right,
did.
I'm going to take us through the next material now. Let me take this one off the screen to bring this other one to the screen. All right. Okay. There you have it. It's still loading, but I believe it will load and we'll be able to access that material and maybe do the reading, or if it's a video content, we can also attend to it. But it's loading, and my internet is a little bit slow. Hmm. I don't know why this thing is not loading. And the internet has been
Is
great
it loading? I don't
today.
think you should show the because I think it's also about Akara. I think they've
It's
had
about the
enough. We just
Akara,
move
right?
on.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Where we have more clips and videos are in the headlines and bottom lines, but we can always do that some
Yes,
other time.
we can do that some other time. I think we have. It's
Yeah.
been a very how do I put it? We really had a very good deliberation today, and we
It's very
exposed
informative,
quite a
very
lot.
educational.
Yes, very insightful. Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, very
And this
insightful.
this is the sort
So
of
we
things
stopped
that
at
our audience should look out for on Movement Radio. We look out for
yeah,
real content from this side of things.
yeah,
So our
quality
35
content, not all the
audience
nonsense
goes
they're
out.
used to,
Yes, we have 35 of you watching us from different platforms.
which is good.
Big shout out to you on Movement Radio, Twitter, on Alaba Pereira, Twitter, and of course on YouTube. So thank you so very much.
And also, I wanted to say, although we'll say this behind after we exit the stream, I wanted
Oh,
to
okay.
tell you that, yeah, let's say this after we exit the stream. So we know
All
where
right.
we stopped. We didn't do the Taiwo Akinlami's article on the tokenism and the
Yes.
fake empowerment they say they are doing. We'll do that later. We have so much stuff, and every day news things are just coming in. We do so much things to do. Very informative, and whenever we have a panel, we'll bring back those questions to readdress.
Absolutely. And we'll be having panelists also join us. We are indeed we have a catalog of very wonderful guests that we'll be bringing to the show as time goes on. So expect quality um, production from the Movement Radio moving forward. And I believe it has been informative, and you have not wasted 2 hours of your time. It's been
Of your time,
qualitative.
it's been quality,
Yes,
informative, and very
yes,
good.
it's very
So we
qualitative.
will continue from there, from where we stopped, and
Absolutely.
please put
Absolutely.
your comments on the comment section if you have any. If you learn anything, let us know.
And of course, don't forget to
Participate.
subscribe and follow us on all social media platforms so that you'll be
Yeah.
notified.
So we will continue. We'll announce the day. We'll continue pretty soon. We got so much content we've not covered, so we would we will see, and more contents are coming in every day on a daily basis. So we can end the stream now.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely. So thank you so very much,
Thank you
everybody.
very
See
much,
you next
everybody.
time.
Yeah.